Hello and welcome to post-match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble. I'm just going to be straight up with you folks before we start. I'm not well. I was in my deathbed at half-time and I decided, no, this game's too good. We need to do a post-match. So apologies if I'm not at my usual sparkling self. My name's Martin Douglas and tonight I am joined by Scott Kerr and the better Scott. Gents, how are we?
I'm fine, thanks.
Good, thank you.
We are live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch, and if you can read what it says at the bottom of the screen, we are now sponsored by Manscaped. Your balls will thank you. We're going to do a bit more on the advertisement stuff coming soon. This is a fairly new thing we've got, so we'll focus a bit more on that because we've got far too much to talk about tonight. So the better, Scott, in 50 words or less, what did you make of that?
50 words or less, not possible. It was. I'm trying to think of all the cliches I can list off, but none of them apply. What a game of football! What a game of football! I think if you were going to show people a game of football to get them hooked, it would be a game like that. As a Rangers supporter, you don't necessarily want to see it. I think all the Celtic fans watching, they probably won't want to see that either. And I'm absolutely delighted, over the moon that we've won that, because for so many reasons that I can't articulate in less than 50 words.
Oh, can I just say a big shout out to all the Celtic fans watching? This is what a reaction pod for a winning team in Europe looks like. Kerr, before the game started, Gerrard made 5 changes. Obviously, we've got loads to talk through the game, but I need to bring this up anyway. He made 5 changes. Did you feel that was maybe a wee bit too much? And I was surprised to see Scotty Arfield starting because we have missed him. He's only had like 5 minutes. Is it 5 minutes in 8 games he's missed?
Yeah, I was surprised he started as well, man. I think he just wanted to give him some game time, get his leg running again, but I didn't think he looked great tonight. He was trying, huffing and puffing, but I think he looked out of match fitness, to be honest with you. But no, the changes, I think they come about because maybe some of the players were tired or maybe having wee niggles, so he wanted to rest on them. They've got a big enough squad to cope with changes anyway, and I thought Antwerp were always going to not give us much problems, but after watching tonight's game, they gave us a few problems, but even though we weren't defending great, I always thought we were going to score. Even though I was shouting at the telly and stuff like that and complaining in the chat, but I was happy with performance overall. But defensively, we weren't at our best. But offensively, or attacking-wise, we were fantastic and we could have scored a lot more.
We could have and we probably should have. That's probably the most disappointing thing. And I mean, how far have we came? It's disappointing that we've only won 4-3 away from home in Europe. But like I say, we're live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch, so get your comments in. Keep us going, because like I say, for the first 45 I was on my deathbed, so my notes might not exactly be the greatest. But right at the start of the game, Scott, should we have had a penalty?
Which Scott are you talking to? The better Scott?
The better Scott, I know. I'm just going to refer to him as Kerr from now on. He's Kerr, you're the better Scott.
The tardy one. My initial reaction was, it was a penalty. Purely because the ball has travelled a long way and it's hit his hand. I mean, in reality, you don't necessarily want to see them given. I think what transpired later in the game was a little bit more frustrating, because then you think, well, it actually should have been given, judging by the other decisions. It was just quite frustrating. I don't know. Like all through the game, I just had a problem with VAR. I just didn't like it. I just thought it was like an unnecessary interruption, and I think it eventually worked in our favour. As bizarre as that sounds, I didn't like it, but it was. Yes, we had 2 decisions against and 2 decisions for, I'd probably say, and I didn't like it.
Right, well, do you know what? Normally, like you guys know, I would structure this so we go through each incident in the actual time it happened. But like I says, to my notes are all over the place. And the penalty I asked you about, the better Scott, I can't even remember what penalty I was talking about. So let's jump straight to the first goal. Kerr, Joe Aribo, is that a better finish than it looks, or was it quite an easy finish?
No, I took it well, Aribo. He was composed enough to put it away, which sometimes he's not. Sometimes his brain and his feet don't work together at the same time, but no, I thought he done well. I thought overall he was quite lazy during the match. I thought he could have been better, but I thought he took his finish well. I thought, to be honest with you, he could have scored maybe a couple of shots before that, but he took his goal well.
And actually, Scott, we moan all the time on here about referees. Is that maybe just a little indication that Scottish refs might be poor, but they're not the only ones?
Oh, it's the whole system. But yeah,
it's mental.
I thought the referee was so inconsistently consistent. It was frightening. It was. I don't even know where he was from. I don't even know his. It was like this was his first senior game refereeing, and he's used to. I don't know. I just couldn't explain it. Like for the first half, it was like one guy who refused to book anyone, and in the second half, he was like, right, okay, well, I suppose we're a little bit closer to Christmas now, so I can start giving out my cards. I just couldn't. I couldn't understand his thought process behind. Well, maybe it's later on in the game, and I don't have to be so lenient. And yeah, the free kicks and Igley free kicks. I don't particularly want to talk about officials. I don't want to talk about VAR because we could be here all night. I think the performance on the whole, it was a really good game of football to watch. It was quite frustrating because I think typically over the last couple of seasons, we always seem to struggle against scattergun teams that just like bomb loads of guys forward, bomb loads of guys back, loads of guys forward. We always seem to struggle because we can't keep our shape, we can't keep our uniform approach, and we struggled again tonight. And I think that's the point. Yes, okay, we look great going forward, but I don't think Antwerp can defend, and I don't think Antwerp even train defending it. They just don't seem that team. They seem to be a team that's either all back or all forward, and we couldn't really struggle. We really struggled against that, albeit we won 4-3. I just think that's because we are better than them. I think I want to be a different game, but there.
Oh God, yeah, we're a much better team than them. Kerr, CGM puts the ref gave me the absolute fear tonight, and honestly, I think some of his decisions were absolutely baffling.
Oh, his decisions were awful. I mean, we were constantly complaining about them all night. And to be honest with you, if you asked him now about his decisions, I probably wouldn't remember half of them because I don't think he knew what he was doing. No, so I don't think he was great. I don't know if he referees the next night. I'm not sure if he does, but I hope he does. But like you said earlier, he makes some of the Scottish referees look half decent and they're not decent at all. So, but I agree with the better Scott. I think the system overall is very poor refereeing wise. I really watch some of the referees. I'm awful. And VAR into the equation makes it worse because it's supposed to help decisions you don't see, and it actually just mystifies it for everybody because it gives decisions that nobody sees.
Do you know what? The referee actually had the best decision of the night with the final penalty, because I didn't even see that as a handball, and he spotted that out of nothing. Yeah. And I was like, how can you see that and miss completely everything else? I was completely baffled.
And I'm just baffled that Kerr's going along with a better Scott. I'm just baffled by that.
I only put that because he was late.
Derek McMillan, a good friend of ours, writes in, glad we got the win to appease the grumpy old men in the group chat. And Scott, I believe he's aiming that at you because you were pretty grumpy the full night. The better Scott, I should say.
Absolutely not. I was a delight. I was so I can't remember one single negative comment I said. I'm going back on what I said now. Hang on.
Everything. But listen, Kerr, we're 1-0 up in the first half, and you know, I actually thought there was times where they did look a wee bit dangerous, especially when they broke down their right-hand side or left. I think they got past Barisic a couple of times, but to be quite comfortable 1-0 up, and I think we're all thinking, well, maybe 2, maybe 3, we'll close this game up. Yeah. To go in 2-1 down at half-time, Gerrard must have been pulling his hair out.
He must have been, but I mean, watching his interview after the match, he didn't think we played that well in the first half anyway. He said he thought we were lazy, we weren't aggressive, especially in possession, we weren't closing down enough. So he didn't foresee it, but he knew why it was happening. I think how they came out in the second half and performed a lot better. But the first goal they scored, it was poor marking. Yeah, that was the reason. It was poor marking. But you can't take away from the point. There's some header for that distance around the corner. McGregor had another chance to even move.
And the penalty, Scott, that they got, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for this. And I know that you won't agree with me because you're shaking your head already. And I've got to say, you've just been a
Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Just because he's tapped his ankle.
Let me get my point across.
He doesn't. Oh, go on.
Let me get my point. You've been a right wanker tonight, by the way. My point is, Stephen Davis has made contact with him, right? So there's contact in the box, and you're always told as a striker, if there's contact in the box, go down. Now, I don't think it was a penalty, but I can understand why the referees gave it, considering his performance, and Stephen Davis gave him the option or the chance to give a penalty. Now, the argument about VAR's a different argument. Maybe VAR's seen that and went, well, I mean, he's touched him, but he's failed. But Stephen Davis still gave him the option, the better Scott. See, you can't even argue against that. That's
no, I can. Where do you want me to start? This is a game of football. It's a contact sport. Like, I mean, I was listening to Radio Clyde, and it was absolute. No. It's actually got pretty decent, particularly with Tim's crying and that. And one of the things that you might actually boo was Mark Wilson was on, and it was after I think Ryan Christie it was Greg Taylor dived for a Celtic penalty, and he turned around and went, as a Celtic man, look, just because you make contact doesn't mean you have to go down, or you should go down, or you can go down, or it forces you to go down. That is absolutely not the case. It's like someone brushing past you in the supermarket to get to the coffee before you. It's the last coffee, and then all of a sudden you've fallen to the deck. Absolute nonsense. Yes, okay, he's made contact. Are you telling me that's enough for him, for his arms to go up in the air, his body to arch back, and his legs to flick up? Are you actually? No, it's not. And just because he's made contact does not mean it's giving him an excuse. No, what the player has done, let's get this straight. What the player has done, he has manipulated the situation to win a penalty. What then should happen is, okay, I think the referee is well within his rights to give the penalty, because this is what VAR is for, to correct mistakes, right? So whether it's an offside goal, you can go back and check it, but let the play continue or award the penalty. At that point, VAR should have gone, right, okay, well, this doesn't look right. It just doesn't. Just let the referee see for himself, go to the monitor. And they didn't even do that. They just said, right, award the penalty. So, no, it wasn't a penalty. And no, just because he made contact doesn't mean it could be a penalty. And the player is a toss pot for going down the way he did.
If you're absolutely desperate for that coffee, if you're desperate for that coffee, you will do anything to get it, Kerr.
Nescafe is zero, I'm telling you.
other coffees are available.
Yeah, getting brought into football now. Players are going to go down very easily, like Martin said. Yeah, as soon as they have contact, they're going to go down, and they're going to say, well, if the gives a penalty, the VAR's it just say no, it's not a penalty. But if VAR decides it as a penalty, then no, fair enough. That's how people win the game. People have always died in football. It's just more highlighted now because of telecam, TV cameras everywhere in VAR. So it's not a thing that's never happened before. It's always happened in football. It's just nowadays posing more clever. They get away with it. But I still agree, don't get the penalty.
Can I also just give a big shout out for other sponsors? Genius Clothing. If you head over to geniusclothing.com, they've got loads of clothes there that you might love. So head over to Genius for the beginning.
Martin, I need a new pair of jeans.
Well, go to Genius. There you go. They don't just do jeans, they do everything. So head over there. You can tell we were made to do this advertisement stuff. I bet you Manscaped are loving that they've came to us.
Wait until next week and I give the demonstration video.
Have you got your Manscaped stuff there?
Actually, no. I could go get it if you want.
Oh, you're all right. You're terrible at this. Kerr, CGM, comments in. I fear the worst for Tav. Now, after we were hearing all this fake news, Tav's not injured, blah, blah, blah. Patterson does what he does. We had a full podcast about that. There's no point in going over old ground, but Patterson will be sitting in the house tonight, I think, like Coisty said, absolutely kicking his cell. But I just hope that that's not as bad as what it looked for Tav.
I agree. I hope it's not, but to be honest with you, I think it could be out for at least a good few weeks anyway, if not worse. Because it looked quite a bad one, especially around the knee. You don't know the damage in the knee until it obviously gets this scan or whatever. And as for Patterson, I don't think the boys worth talking about. He made his mistake, he made his bet, let him lie in it. If he comes back next season and tries to improve himself and apologise, fair enough. But this season, just concentrating on the players that are there because they've got a lot going for us. So I'm not talking about Nathan Patterson, but I hope Tav's fine. But I think we've got players in there that can put something in it right back to cover. Balogun, done okay when he come on. I think Jack can go there. Maybe Simpson can go there. The only thing that Tav gives us that maybe they don't is the forward assists, setting up goals, even taking goals, stuff like that. And he drives the team on at times, so maybe we'll miss that from him. But hopefully it's not as bad because, like Gerard said, he's not a player that goes down, Tav. He always bounces back up. He tackles and he stays on the part. And he did try, but Alan Hutton said after the game commentated, when you come back up, as soon as you open your net, you've got to pass the ball or something, and you feel the worst. He started down straight away, so I think it may be worse, as we were saying. So hopefully it's not, but hopefully after 48 hours, maybe Swan goes down, we can get good news for him. As for Roof, I think he's just always going to be injured prone. I think his body's just telling him football's not got long left. And we get good spells, we get bad spells. It's just one of these things.
That's the thing, Scott. The better Scott. Do you know what? I'm just going to call you Scott, right? That was the one position that we really did not want to have an injury in. That and left back, of course. But your thoughts on Balogun? I thought he came in and he done defensive wise. I thought he was excellent. Going forward, he's no Tav, but nobody is.
I'm going to say it. He had the touch of Papac. He reminded me of Sasa Papac.
See, if you had told me that before we started, I would have put live reaction. We found a new Papac.
Kind of beat Sasa Papac.
I really can't. I can't be the only person thinking that.
I never
it was the way that it was the way that he was determined to get forward, but didn't know really what to do when he got there. I think that's where the comparison lies. I think. A bit of training and a bit of practice and a bit of match sharpness. I think he can be an adequate replacement. But I think Patterson would be a ready-made replacement for Tav, and he shot himself in the foot. I don't think Ryan Jack defensively would be appropriate. I'd rather have Balogun in there, and I'd rather have a defender and try and shoehorn him into an attacker than have a midfielder that can't really attack and can't really defend in that position, because then you end up with a poor man's Fernando Rickson, and I think we'd end up with a really bumpy finish to the season. As for other players in the squad, I'm not really sure. We're quite light in the fullback areas, aren't we? Which is a bit of a concern now because of both Patterson and Bassey. But we just move forward.
Yeah, and like I say, I hope that Nathan Patterson is sitting at home feeling as sick as a dog. I really do.
Well, do you know what? I hope his dad kicks shit out of him.
Well, yeah, we don't. We don't advocate violence on this podcast. I think you mean that.
No, I do.
No, you don't mean that.
No, well, I kind of do. Right. Remember that Old Firm game where we started really badly and you had Walter Smith and Ian Durant up in the box. And Walter Smith's absolutely going raging. He like slaps Durant over there. Go fucking sort him out. I hope Nathan Patterson and his dad were sat on the sofa. They saw Tav get injured. And his dad looked at him and just clipped him around the back of the head and go, look what you fucking blown. What you've done.
Yeah, obviously you don't mean a full-scale attack on the young boy, because that would violence, and that's not what we're here to do. Kerr, Wolf comments in. No crosses from the right after Tav went off. Big Leon did well. but doesn't cross the ball. And that was really the point I was getting at, that, you know, as a right back goes, Big Leon is fine as a defensive right back, but because of the way that we play, Tav is so influential.
Yeah, he is. And he contributes every part of the team. He defends, he attacks, he sets up goals, he scores goals. He's probably been, apart from maybe Conor Golson, probably been our best player this season. So it's a big miss for us. And probably if he's picked anybody for the team not to get injured, it would be him. But we're just going to have to go, mate. We can't keep saying we're missing him. I don't like doing things like that because it's pointless. We just have to go on it on, mate. The only reason I said Ryan Jacky on because Ryan Jacky was in Aberdeen for a good few games at right back, so he's played that position before. He understands the position. Make no way what he's doing across his either, but he understands the position. He controls the game and he sees things happening in front of him, so make it sit in there as well. It just depends how Gerrard calls, do you know what I mean? But I think we just have to wait till see how long Tav's out for.
Absolutely, and CGM writes in, you can't hit kids in Scotland anymore, and the Rangers Rebel podcast absolutely stands by that statement.
Yeah,
it's 19 years old, it's fine.
Scott, did Rangers miss a trick at half-time? Obviously, we spoke there about Roof, and I'll be honest with you, I can't remember, I think it may be William Irvin who said it when we first signed him, that this was going to be the big worry. Fantastic player, but very injury-prone. But did Rangers miss a trick bringing on Ryan Kent rather than just wait till half-time? With regards to the sub-rule thing?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I just think they should have waited till half-time anyway. Roof should have stayed on his feet because their penalty came in the stoppage time because Roof decided to go down because he couldn't possibly continue anymore or walk. Yeah, I just think it was just a bit of game management that we perhaps lacked slightly. But yeah, you know, you've got to be cute about these things and manipulate the subs rule. Also, another thing that just popped into my head there, I'm hoping Balogun turns into more of a Papatch than a Kirk Broadfoot, but we can move on from that.
Don't criticise him too much.
Okay, we're going to half time 2-1 down, and you know, everybody in the group chat, I can only go by the group chat because I couldn't look at Twitter because I could just imagine what was going to be wrote on Twitter. But what was your feelings at half time then? 2-1 down. They don't look like a great team, to be honest, but in Europe, going 2-1 down away anywhere is difficult to come back from.
To be honest with you, Martin, I wasn't angry if it was a league game, but I was more concerned about injuries. The injuries were worrying me more than the result at that time, so I thought, I don't want anybody else to get injured because the way some of the tackles are flying in and that referee wasn't cautioning anybody. I thought somebody else was going to get injured here. I could see Conor Golson injured or somebody else, so coming back was a great result, but I was more concerned about not getting any more injuries because I don't know, but at the end of the day, getting a result in Europe is good, it's enjoyable, and I don't know if I'm going in. I don't know if we get through Antwerp, I don't know if I'm going any further. I hope we do, but I don't know. But the league's more important to me, so I was more worried about the injuries in the league than I was at Europe. That's just my opinion.
Well, do you know who did go further in Europe, Scott? Kirk Broadfoot. He went to a European final, right?
That's
so
what I said.
Don't you be slagging old Kirky boy. Although there's plenty of reasons to slag Kirky boy. So second half starts, we come out the traps. We're by far the better team, and lo and behold, another penalty.
Yeah, I'm trying to think which one was that. That was the Morelos tug, wasn't it? Yeah, the Morelos tug. Do you know what? I actually thought Morelos should have done better with that anyway because he got his head on the ball. He should have scored. He should have scored, taken out the question. But bizarrely, the referee didn't send Richie Delat off. I don't know why because he wasn't going for the ball. Delat was tugging Morelos back. So, letter of the law, he should have been sent off.
Are you confused that ref made a bad decision?
Yeah, because it went to VAR. Surely the VAR goes, right, it's a penalty and a red card.
Even a second gel at the second yellow card, anyway, should have been off.
Pardon?
If it'd been second yellow, so he'd have been off anyway.
Aye.
Get a yellow card for it because they'd have been booked.
What?
Right, listen,
he got booked I don't.
get
Yeah.
No, but listen, I didn't realise that a live reaction to a European game was going to turn into the Kirk fucking Broadfoot show, right? It's scary that man of Kirk Broadfoot's ability to play in the European Cup final. Don't CGM, don't slag Rangers players that made it to a UEFA Cup final. Come on now. But Kerr, we get that penalty, we go 3-2 up. Oh no, sorry, we go 2 each, and then we go 3-2 down. Their first goal was a cross that we didn't really deal with that well. The second goal was a penalty, and this goal was kind of a shot for distance. So, can you really say that you're up to this point that you're unhappy with the defence?
To be honest with you, it was just the way we were defending, but it was apart from the penalty, you can't ever see that. That's one of the things that happens. First goal was bad defending. The third goal was, in my opinion, worse because Arfield gave the ball away. I don't know if he tried to clear that pass, he gave it away. He came across the box, the guy ran by Aribo and Kamara. Nobody chased him. Had Connor Golson ran out for the edge of the box, tried to close him down here under Pans's back. Don't get me wrong, it was a great strike by the inside his foot. He whipped it into the corner. McGregor didn't have any chance in the goals. But I still think it was bad defending. I think if I started maybe Jack and Davis here, that goal wouldn't happen because Jack would have closed him down. That's where Jack reads a game better than Kamara and Aribo. Aye,
that's very, very true. And at this point, Scott, I'm just going, what the fuck's going on, man? We've come out the second half. But do you know what I think was really bugging me? We're so much a better team than them. I mean, that was so difficult for me to get that out. I'm really not well, but we're just so much better than them.
Yeah, it's just a scattergun approach. We can't. For some reason, we decide that we can't keep our shape against scattergun because we end up when you have a team that has runners, like 4 or 5 runners just running straight at you. For some reason, we think, shit, we've got to track them, and we lose all shape. And then we end up with, in that particular situation, when the third goal goes in, you've got Kamara and Aribo at the same side of the pitch, which they're never ordinarily like together trying to run across because they just lose all shape. And it's really, really bizarre. And I don't know how to address it because we seem to domestically have got it sorted, albeit the worst offenders who we were playing against were Hearts, and they're no longer in the division, thank God, because we always seem to struggle against them at Tynecastle. But it's very, very similar. But then on the other side, it allowed us a lot of freedom, a lot of opportunities going forward. So you win some, you lose some, and you can understand why Anderlecht were in the position they did, because they perhaps look at football as a percentages game where, okay, we're going to go forward quite a lot, and we're quite a threat going forward, so we can score goals. Defensively, we're going to rely on luck for them not to score goals, and then not to have the quality, which, if you look at Belgian football, no disrespect to Belgian football, that's a distinct possibility. So then they find themselves probably overshooting a little bit where they are. But they are not necessarily a good footballing side. I think they've got some good individuals. In fact, I wouldn't even say that, but they just work hard. I wasn't over enamored by any of their players, and I would, sometimes you look at a European opposition and go, I'd really like to see him in a Rangers shirt, or I think he really, really destroyed us. I don't think I could really say that about a lot. Maybe the cheat that won the penalty, maybe him.
No bad player.
I don't think he works hard enough to actually play for Rangers. I don't think he works hard enough off the ball. But I don't even remember what you asked me now. So
just genuinely. Right, thanks everybody. I can't even remember what goal we're on. That's it. 3 each. Kent Kerr. I don't want to hear from any more Rangers supporters that Ryan Kent isn't playing well. Because he showed everything in that game. He lost the ball. He took the ball into space. He dragged players about the park, and he scored a fantastic goal. I
agree with you. My mum always arguing folk on Twitter about Ryan Kent. People say drop him, he's not playing well. See what he offers off the ball as well as on the ball. You can't drop him. And also when he plays Barisic, he's a better player than Kent's in the field. So he helps as well. But the goal tonight, it's only Kent could have scored that goal for us. We're not getting anybody else like that. And that's probably how in the first half, we didn't have any pace, we didn't have any legs, we didn't have anybody running at anybody. Morelos, Kamara, they're not the quickest. Arfield's not the quickest. Aribo's one of the quickest. Whereas Ryan Kent's direct, he just goes at somebody and he'll drag people away from somebody else, so he gets space for other people as well. So he's a player he can't leave out, and as I said earlier, probably left out tonight because maybe had a niggle injury by all accounts. So, but when he come on the park, he made us look so better. Him and Ryan Jack made us look so better when he came on the park in the second half. We look more, like with Scott said earlier, we look more, we'd be better shape about us, we look more compact, and we look like we were a bigger threat as well.
Absolutely, and Scott, it just but there's a contrast that what fans look at. He scores that absolutely fantastic goal, and then a couple of minutes later, he's through on goal, 1-on-1, and misses.
Yeah, you'd tear your hair out, wouldn't you? But I think that sums Ryan Kent up at this stage of his career. I mean, he's what, 24, so he's got a massive career ahead of him. And I know people are probably going to go, yeah, but he's 24. I mean, we don't live in Football Manager nowadays. So he's going to be playing top-level football for the next 7, 8 years. I mean, when I say top-level, like European football consistently. So he will iron out those inconsistencies. He will learn how to finish, and he will be more clinical. But then if we had the Ryan Kent that was that clinical, it would cost a lot more than £7 million because he does more than your traditional winger ordinarily would do. He's a lot more effective off the ball as well as on the ball. So we've got a real gem there who pulls defenders out of the place. He's quite incisive when he wants to be and decides. I tell you what he's very, very good at: choosing the exact moment when to be incisive. Mm-hmm. So he's very patient. He's for a winger, he's got a very good analysis of the game, and that showed when he came on, particularly against an unorganised defence. He literally tore them apart, and he was the reason why we scored 3 goals in the second half.
And actually, Danny's just commented. Also, it was a good pitch. I think he means it wasn't a good pitch. Pitches was dire. Keir, that was a pretty bad pitch, actually. I meant to open with that, but I completely forgot all about it. It was cut up everywhere, and there was players. I think it was one certain side of the pitch. The players just kept slipping.
I know. I don't know. I don't know if it was water or if it was cut up, or it's just not been looked after. Maybe the ground's been followed. Who knows? I don't know. It wasn't great, but I've seen worse pitches right enough. It's better than the AstroTurf nonsense they're playing up here. So, to be honest with you, Ryan Kent seemed to suit that pitch when because he was whipping the ball about and running about it fine. Other players seemed to struggle a bit, but he seemed okay. And as Scott said earlier about Ryan Kent, if Ryan Kent could finish as well as everybody thinks he should, he probably wouldn't be at Rangers. He'd probably be playing in England still and playing a team in the top 10 in the Premiership because he has a good quality. If he just had a better level of finishing than the Rangers.
Aye, and just to finish things off then, Scott, 4-3. I must admit, at 3 each, I was, like I say, I'm not feeling great, so I was just sitting back going, right, I'll take 3 each, we'll take that back to Ibrox, I'm happy. Then we got a penalty. Initially, when Kent hits the shot, I just assumed that he scuffed it. Right, I didn't, and I turned around to the computer to start getting stuff set up for doing this, and I looked back around and my missus went, no, it's a penalty. Fucking hell. Penalty for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, really strange because you listen to the commentators and the pundits, they were umming and ahhing about the first one being a penalty or not. I thought the first one was more of a penalty than the second one because, yes, okay, the second one was a shot on target, but they always say, oh, well, he hasn't had a chance to move out of the way, or he hasn't had a chance to, readjust his body. But they all say that one was a clear penalty. And I'm like thinking, well, get your story straight, get your facts straight. Either it is or it isn't. Be consistent. But I thought, first and last, both penalties for me, as I said. And like you, I thought it was just deflected wide. I thought, oh, Ken, you've missed another one. But no, credit to him. I think had the defender not got in the way, it was going in. It was certainly on target, and I don't know how good this keeper was, but it was going like a rocket. So, definite penalty. And that said, I don't know why you were gearing up to go home after that one because there was about 3 other chances after that as well.
I know, and you know what? I didn't write them down, so I can't remember them. Borna Barisic now, Care, the penalty taker going forward. I thought his first penalty was pretty poor, to be honest with you, and his second one, yeah, it was hit with some pace, but I don't know how comfortable I would feel with Borna on pens.
I don't know. A penalty, to be honest with you, a penalty just, I think sometimes it's, people say you shouldn't miss a penalty, but it's just like the goalkeeper dives the right way, you know, they're going to save it. His first one should have been saved, to be honest with you, but that keeper was awful. The second penalty was a very good penalty, and I like full-back taking penalties because I've always got a good strike of the ball, so I'd be comfortable with him taking a penalty. I mean, Tab's missed a few hours of penalties recently, but he scored quite a lot as well, so I'm comfortable with Borna taking the penalties until the manager or somebody else says otherwise.
Scott?
Not for me. I don't think he looked too comfortable with it. I'm sure he's taken a few penalties in the past, but obviously it's been a while since he last took a penalty. You know, it's completely up to him whether he wants to take up that mantle. If he does, I'm sure he'll practice them more and get more at ease. So, you know, we all would feel more at ease with him taking penalties. I'm not probably scored 2 out of 2. Interestingly enough, though, just food for thought, it's a lot harder to take that second one than it is the first one. Despite saying, okay, well, the keeper should have saved the first one, to then stand up for the second one and face the keeper who's seen the first one, and you're like, right, okay, do you go the same way? Do you go a different way? What's the keeper thinking? You have all these thoughts running through your head, and he actually struck that one with such power. I don't even think the keeper would have saved it had he gone the right way. So fair play to him for that second one. That was some balls. He must have shaved them with Manscaped.
That must have given him the confidence when he's got clean and fresh balls to go out there and hit that penalty spot, eh? I wasn't expecting another Manscaped reference in this because we're not even tonight, you know, just because we get our packages through, and I must admit, by the way, it's shit hot stuff.
Show the viewers.
Right, so Keir, 4-3 away from home in Europe against anybody is a great one. I don't think there have been any problems in the return leg, do you? Confident with the return leg?
I'm confident with the return leg. I don't see any problems. I thought, I mean, if we play even like they did tonight, attacking wise, we should beat them. If we play a bit more defensive, we play better defensively. I don't see them causing any problems at Ibrox. Because they were even when they were leading us, they were getting deep. So I don't see them causing problems. So I think we should go through. But it just depends. I think the team will turn up more confident at Ibrox anyway, because they know what they're like. I think that was the problem tonight. I think that's what I said earlier on. The scattergun approach. I think Rangers think they're not as good as us. And we were confident. We were playing the ball well. We were creating chances. But when they were attacking us, I don't think any fear of them attacking us and then they scoring goals and that kind of. But even when they scored goals, I think the players still knew we can win this. So you have to be careful, but I think we'll go through.
And we deserve to win the night, Scott, don't we?
Absolutely. We won at our best. But yeah, 100% deserve to win.
Who's your man of the match, Scott?
Ryan Kent.
Keir?
My man of the match is Stephen Davis.
There you go, food for thought. Right, gents, that will do that is 39 minutes, and I really, really, really want to go to my bed because I'm really not well. Thank you, Scott, yeah, for coming on. Do you know what? The viewers just wouldn't have any clue. The better, Scott, that you are absolutely steaming.
Am I?
Are you talking sense?
Good.
This one's sponsored by Peroni.
Other beers are available. Thank you to Scott, and Scott, thank you to everybody watching, and we shall speak to you very, very soon.